Hey guys, project-zodiac here. I'm back with another video, and this is a movie I'm super excited to talk about, the live-action Lilo and Stitch movie. So, this movie finally came out, and it was just amazing. I'm gonna go into spoilers at the end of the video, but I'm just gonna go quickly into it because I do have a lot to say about it. This movie was amazing, definitely one of the best live-action Disney adaptations so far. In my opinion, Stitch himself is better in this movie than he is in the original, just because he makes so much more crazy messes. I like when he lands on Earth, they added in a whole sequence, and I love it. It is just so funny. Um, like Stitch in this movie is exactly how you want Stitch to be. Like all the little things that you saw in the original movie, him doing crazy things, all of that. Like he does all of those things and more. So Stitch here is perfect. Like he was already perfect there, but now he's even more perfect. Stitch here is amazing. Um, and he's adorable too. So yeah, I really liked Stitch in this movie. I really liked Lilo. They did a really good job with her as well. She's really innocent, sweet, and really fun. And she also does a fantastic job with a lot of the scenes. The actress for Nani, when she's not supposed to be mad, she does a really good job, a fantastic job. But the moments where she's being mad, like her screaming voice is not even really a screaming voice. She's just talking more loudly. It doesn't even sound like it's aggressive or anything like that. Like screaming Nani from the animated movie, that's scary. You know, like you can tell the weight with it, that she's actually mad and all of that. And like it's like your older sibling screaming at you, knowing and you knowing that you screwed up and you're about to get a beating. That's how it is. Nani in the live action remake, though, she's her screaming just comes off as just being annoyed, and she's not like pissed off. So it doesn't have that weight to it. So I didn't really like that. Also, there this is a very big thing. I saw a person posting about this, and I thought it was fake because I thought there was no way they were going to do this, because it would make no sense. But this is true. Unfortunately, Guntu is not in this movie, and I have no idea why. They also got Bubbles and split him into two different people. So they created another person in order to basically get rid of Gantu for no reason at all. Because yeah, the social worker is not Bubbles. And I mean, when you think about it, at the same time, I do understand why they went that route. Because when you do think about it, that would make the most sense. I don't really think that, you know, a Man in Black agent would be a social worker. So I don't hate this change at all because Bubbles is still involved in it. But I know I have seen some people complaining about the fact that Bubbles is not the social worker. The only thing really that I can complain about in regards to that particular choice is that he doesn't do too much in this movie. And the fact that they make him pretend to be the social worker's like big boss, that just didn't make sense, because if you didn't want him to be a social worker to begin with, then why did you make him be an undercover manager of the social worker? Obviously, the social worker was not aware of that. She said that it was a new person. So, you know, like the government did something for him, and so she was meeting him for the first time too. So again, it's explained. I just don't get why they just didn't have Bubbles be a social worker who has ties to the government, like they did in the animated movie. So that's not really a spoiler. So that should be okay to say. And Jumba in this movie is terrible. Um, Pleakley is pretty cool, and let me see what else. We do get some Easter eggs. I don't want to say what those Easter eggs are, but we do get some Easter eggs. If you know the Lilo and Stitch series as a whole, like all the movies, you'll understand some of those Easter eggs that I'm talking about. So I really, really like that. That was really cool to see. As for some of the other changes that they did, yeah, they do replace Guntu, like I said. I don't want to explain how they did in this section. I'll explain that later during the spoiler section. Because again, this is just my general thoughts, spoiler free for right now. So they do replace the situation with Gantu, and the way that they made it work, I'm gonna be honest, it works. I'm sad that Gantu isn't in this movie, but the fact that he was left out and in the story that they told, I think it works. So I'm not too mad about that. But I guess the last two complaints that I have, literally the last three complaints that I have, is Jumbo and Pleakley. They people are complaining that they don't wear human clothes. There is at least one scene where they do, and it's hilarious and it sticks out so much. But of course you can't see their face because they're covering everything. So, but still, at least they got them wearing human clothes for at least one scene. I don't mind the hologram effect that we see them wearing. That's fine. That's cool. It makes sense as well. But what I don't like is that we don't really get to see them in their real form very often. So yeah, I didn't like, even like when they're in their hotel room, it's just like, why aren't you guys just in your regular forms? Why are you taking a bath as a human form? Why don't you just be yourself? So that was one thing. The other thing too is this movie is super fast paced. Like, yes, there's a lot of things that's straight from the original, but then there's a bunch of new things too. It was balanced really, really good. But this whole pacing of the movie, it is so fast, especially like the first 20 minutes of it. It's like they condensed the first 40 minutes of the original movie into 20 minutes, especially the whole very introduction with Stitch running away. Like, things are just snapping, cutting. Like, it just goes so quick. So I thought that the pacing for it was really, really fast. So I didn't really like that too much, but it's fine. It worked out. The pacing got better. And then really, I did have the other complaint, but I kind of forgot what that was. But for some good things that I really loved about the movie, the new stuff here is amazing. Stitch does so many more chaotic things. Oh, right, I remember the last complaint. Jumba's appearance in this movie. His voice does not fit the character at all. As soon as Jumba starts talking, I'm like, am I hearing this properly? Please tell me. Like, I had to like second guess and just take a second look, and I'm like, Jumba, I need you to talk again to make sure that I heard you right, because the voice does not fit at all. Again, I'm gonna go into more complaints about Jumba at the end of, like, during the spoiler section, but the voice just does not fit at all. The character is fine, but the character design, I don't know what they were really thinking. Like, when it, like, the actual design itself, I don't mind. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but I don't mind. Like, the actual design is good, but the CGI on him, and I've said this in other reviews, CGI isn't an issue, but you're gonna understand why I'm complaining about the CGI. The CGI on him is one of the worst ones in the entire movie, and there's just a comic relief character at the very beginning of the movie who has, and this comic relief character appears here and there throughout the movie, I think in like 4 or 5 scenes, and the CGI for that is so good. And then I'm looking at that and I'm like, how is it that you guys did such good, like such a good CGI on this minor character, but you did not do that for one of the main characters? Even Pleakley's design, it works. I love his design in the movie. The CGI isn't the best for him, but it is pretty good. Especially during a close up of his face, I think they did that really good. Um, but his CGI model in general looks so much better than Jumba's CGI. Like Jumba's CGI, it looks so out of place compared to every other CGI in this movie. Stitch's CGI is the best though. Like Stitch, the way they design him is perfect. I love it. Um, so that was so cool. But yeah, like, and that's honestly the most important thing. But it's just Jumba's CGI. I do not understand why they put so little care into his design and into making it look realistic, because it doesn't at all. Only in a few shots when it's like really, really close to his face, but then everything else, it just looks like a computer model. Um, and then like secondary background characters have better CGI than one of your main characters. That I didn't understand. The alien lady, she has really good CGI for the most part. Most of her scenes are really good. There was a few moments where it looked a little computer generated, but that's fine. Um, but yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. And David. David is just kind of there in this movie more than he was in the other one. So in the original one, he's not bad, but definitely not as cool as the David from the original movie. But yeah, I thought that all that said, like those are mostly my complaints. The good things, though, that I love is they add in a lot of really cool things. There's so much fun. Stitch is insane, and what's it called? And the way they handle Lilo and Stitch together is so cool. And I love that this movie, in one of my reviews for the Lilo and Stitch series, if you guys aren't aware, I've reviewed every Lilo and Stitch movie. There's a playlist with everything in chronological order. Please check that out. One of the complaints that I had said about the original movie in one of those reviews, because I forgot to mention it in the original movie review, was that how is it that no one questions this blue dog that's dancing around and speaking every now and then? They kind of all just go with it. And yeah, so I'm like, at least in the original movie, Nani questions Stitch, but everyone else that's not Nani kind of just goes with it. And I thought that that was very strange. In this movie, I was shocked because I thought that a blue alien or a blue dog would have been really noticeable of something kind of like that thing does not look real. Like, that's not an animal. That has to be a creature, an alien, a monster, whatever it is. I thought that that's how it was going to be, but when we actually see it, and this is one of the good things about live action adaptations, is when done right, you can actually see and understand better why people actually don't question it so much. Because for the most part, yes, they see him doing some crazy things here and there, and they get very confused by it. But for the most part, Stitch does actually act and look like a dog. When you see it like in real life with all the characters, he actually doesn't look so strange other than him being blue. And because there's dogs with no nose or pushed in snouts. There are very small dogs like that, dogs with big ears. So really, like, it could just be like a different kind of dog, or a dog with a deformity or something like that. It's really just the blue part that kind of makes you think, like, did you guys paint your dog? So like, I was amazed seeing that, because I was questioning it watching the animated movies. I'm like, how does no one question a blue dog? But then actually seeing it in a live action aspect, I'm like, now I understand why people don't question a blue dog. So I thought that was so impressive. I really, really love that a lot. So I think it was pretty cool overall. The things that they add here is very good. Uh, and there is just so many things here that is just really, really nice. Um, I don't want to go into spoilers with everything, but yeah, I would just, to wrap up my spoiler free thoughts on it. This movie is amazing. It's so fun. I saw it with my family, and it's actually fun because I asked my niece which of the movies she liked more, the animated original one or this live action one. And she was super excited for this movie, just as much as me, actually. Um, and it was sweet because when we were there, I saw that there was this Stitch cup thing that was like a big Stitch thing, almost life size, and you could drink out of it and eat snacks out of it as well. And it's made of like velvet as well, or felt or something like that. I don't know. It's so cool. It's not here in the room with me because it's with my niece, but yeah, if I had it right now, I would show it to you all. But when um, so I saw someone buying that, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I was thinking about buying it for me, but then I thought, you know what? No, my niece is super excited for this movie just as much as me. Like she had a little a Stitch shirt on. She brought a plush Stitch with her, and actually in the theaters there were so many people, even adults, wearing Stitch ears, Stitch decorations. Even my mom was saying like, "Oh wow, there's even adults all wearing like Stitch accessories." So my mom loved the movie too because she really liked the original when it first came out. I think we saw it together too. But yeah, everyone in my family. Sorry, before I jump to that, just finish up what I was saying. So I bought my niece that Stitch popcorn thing, and that was like $60. So, but honestly, the quality for it is really good. I think it was worth it. It came with a with a large popcorn and a large drink as well. It was really cool overall. But um, yeah, so when I gave it to my niece, she was super, super excited because she was already sitting down in the theater. And then I showed up and I'm like, here you go. And then she got super excited because no one knew that that was there. I just saw it by chance, like a customer walking by, or not a customer, a person just walking by with it. I'm like, is that from here? Did he bring it in? Because again, there was so many people bringing merch and from Lilo and Stitch. But then I saw that it was from the AMC movies, and I asked if they had any, and they did. So that was really cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna get it for my niece because she's so excited for the movie. But yeah, so I asked her which one she prefers, and she actually said that she prefers this live action one over the animated one. And that was the thing for just about everyone else in my family. Um, Everyone really liked this live action one a lot. And even though they did some changes here and there, a lot of those changes work. I just think really the biggest issue was just Jumba and the pacing with things being super fast. Um, Overall, everything else was really, really cool. So I really recommend this movie. I want to go watch it again. It is so fun. Um, like it is just so fun. Um, but yeah, this movie is really good. Do I think it's Disney's best live action movie or live action remake? Well, for me, I did really enjoy The Little Mermaid live action remake. Beauty and the Beast live action remake, I think, is fantastic. Um, the Cinderella one was also really good. Maleficent was really good. But in terms of straight out like one to one remakes, um, I would say that this one is just as good as Beauty and the Beast. Really, the Beauty and the Beast remake is so good. It is so well done and beautifully designed. I'm still pissed off that they made the Beast CGI instead of giving him prosthetic makeup, but it is such a well done movie. Um, so yeah, I would say it's just as good as Beauty and the Beast for sure. This movie was so fun. But yeah, guys, that's my spoiler free section of it. I really recommend this movie. going into the spoiler sections. So I'm just going to jump into the complaints that I have, because really that is just the spoiler section itself. They add in a lot of new things. Oh, wait, I forgot there is one actual other complaint. A lot of the supporting characters, just the actors, just feel like they do not want to be there, or they just do not care. And I don't understand why. I don't know if it was the actor. Sorry, I don't know if it was the actors or if it was the director wanting it to be that way. But a lot of the characters are just dully speaking. For example, when Nani is supposed to be screaming and us feeling that weight, remember how I mentioned that? It's just like that for all the other characters, but everyone else is just kind of bored. So that's one thing I really didn't like from the movie as well. But jumping into that, so the biggest changes that they did really that I didn't really like was in regards to Jumpa. And the very whole ending section too, because the ending section just feels super rushed. And because Gantu isn't the villain in this movie, the ending section feels even more rushed. And I was confused how they were gonna do the ending section, and it's not as exciting and fast paced as it was in the animated movie. Basically, they have it so that at that moment where the Galactic Federation is sending Gantu because Prickly and Jumba failed to capture Stitch, and then that leads into the whole final arc. So that doesn't happen. Instead, the Federation lady just says, "Yeah, you guys hold your mission, come back, we're gonna send troops over to get Stitch." Then Jumba just says, "Nope," and then he becomes the villain of the movie. And again, the way it's done works. It does. It's just Jumba himself. I just did not like Jumba at all. He was really, really basically the worst part of the movie. His voice, as I mentioned, does not match him at all. When he's in the human form, he's a little bit more manageable, a little bit more accepting, I would say. But just his character in this movie is it's like he didn't even want to be there, and it's like he didn't even really care, like the actor himself, I mean. And then for the character himself, he doesn't really have a lot of moments. It's like Pleakley is the one that's the bigger focus here. So the fact that Jumba just goes like, screw it, I'm just going to do this my way, and then he literally hurts Pleakley, goes and starts trying to kidnap Stitch, and again, that's what he does in the original, but he just goes into a whole bigger step for it. And like he doesn't care about Stitch in that sense. So he just wanted to get Stitch and leave and like kill Stitch himself. So I just didn't, I don't know, I just thought that the way that they handled Jumba in the movie just really did not make a lot of sense. And yeah, it just, I'm just trying to find the right words for it. It's just like he just kind of there, and then he suddenly becomes just a villain and wants to kill his own creation. And I don't know, again, it works. It's just the way they handled Jumba that I didn't like. So I thought that was really annoying. And also during that whole final sequence anyway, like the whole building, like Lilo's house collapses, and Lilo is under the rubble of it. But then the very next scene, she's in Jumba's ship trying to save Stitch. So how did she go from being crumbled under a house to suddenly being on his ship? How did she even get on the ship? That jump scene, literally, I looked at it and I'm like, did I fall asleep for a minute? Because this is not making any sense. she's a 6-year-old girl that got crushed by her house ceiling. And how is it that she got up out of that rubble, followed them, snuck into the ship, and then tried to free Stitch? How? Because she was very clearly under the rubble. So I must have fallen asleep for a minute or so, but I didn't. And that's the thing. So, I really had to process it. I'm like, really, did I just skip this somehow? Just like when Jumba first starts talking at the very beginning of the movie, I was just like caught off guard. I'm like, whoa, wait, I need you to speak again to make sure that I'm hearing your voice properly. Because that does not sound like you, and it does not fit this character at all. So it was like that. So those two were like just huge whiplashes to me. I'm just like, what? So I didn't like that as well. And overall, though, like, there was a few moments where, again, like, some of the characters really just, and I could tell that they were directed to not care. Like when Lilo is showing Nani the mouth record player thing, they just have Nani just see her, like, as soon as she's like, oh hey, look, and then she starts, and then Nani's like, okay, and then as soon as the music starts, Nani just starts looking back at her desk and is trying to fix some bill things. And then Lilo's like, Nani, look. And then Nani's just like, and then she's just writing down the bills, looks at her phones, and she's like, oh, we gotta go. And then she doesn't even bother to look at Lilo. She like just gets up, starts walking with the phone in her hand, just looking at her phone. It's like, you're not really gonna just look at your own sister when you get up and just suddenly see this blue dog with music coming out of his mouth? Like, how are you not seeing that? Like, you're getting up, they're right in front of you. Is the phone like so close to your face that you can't see anything in front of you? So that was definitely not an actress thing. I think that was more of a directing thing. And so there was a lot of moments like that where I think they just kind of reworked that, and that's more me being nitpicky. But when you compare that to the original movie, and you kind of see that scene where Lilo wakes up Nani in the morning very early to do the record player thing, and then Nani is like, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's way too early. You just woke me up, and I'm seeing music coming out of this thing's mouth. I don't know if I'm even awake anymore. Like, that's how her reaction was in the cartoon. And in this one, it's like, yeah, that's a nice song. So, yeah, I think that was more of a script and directing issue rather than the actress issue. And then we have the whole, like, actual ending, because the actual ending was changed. So in this movie, Nani doesn't keep custody of Lilo. And I thought that was a bit sad. Actually, my family loved this ending because they're like, oh yeah, now Nani can take care of her things. I'm like, guys, she's fighting for her family. What do you mean? But honestly, the way that they handled it, it was a beautiful way, because it's not like Lilo gets taken away from her. She ends up going to live with David. So I thought that was really nice, and Lilo is okay with it. Lilo herself says, Nani, you need to go to school. You want to go to you got accepted into college so long ago. You never went, and you really want to. So go ahead. You don't need to be a mom right now. And I'll be here. And I thought that was so sweet. And Nani is like, okay. So it's not like she loses custody, and we even see them like still talking and everything. And since she's living with David, it's just with Nani's boyfriend. So it's not like she's being sent away to a different state or something like that. And so yeah, the way that it was handled, I thought was beautiful. So it doesn't take away from the ending of the original, but what I liked about the ending of the original is that it showed that Nani was able to handle everything. She just needed a little bit of help, and she was able to handle everything. And they allowed her to stay with custody of Lilo. Um, so that's why I like that, because it shows like no matter how messy things are for you or what you're going through or whatever, things can be fixed and things can be okay and things can be good. And you can keep the things that you like, you can do the things that you like. We just got to work on balance and figuring things out and working through it. Um, so I thought that that was beautiful that the original movie did that. And in this one, um, I understand what they were saying. So it is a beautiful ending as well in a different way, as well. But I do like the other ending a little bit more, just because it shows that, like as I mentioned, you can achieve everything. Just push through, have faith, do your best, and things will calm down. Sometimes we just need a little help. And then when we get that help and we're able to handle it, then it gets fixed. And that's what the movie originally showed. But then on this one, it shows that, yeah, even when things are good, it's okay for you to still have help. So I like that as well. So I thought that that was good in this version of the movie. And then we have the mid-credits scene, the only additional scene, and I thought it was so sweet. Oh, right. Actually, right before we get into that, it also ends because Jumba does not. Sorry, Jumba does not stay in the family. He gets arrested in this movie, so that's also different. At the very end, he gets arrested. He does not stay. In fact, at the very end, I thought it was beautiful. They kind of had a plaster with all of their hands on it. Their family, and Pleakley's hands are there too, but Jumba's is not. So it's literally Jumba is not focused at all in the family, and I thought that was sad, because in the original, like especially when you get to, for example, Leroy and Stitch, like you see just how much he loves them and misses all of them so much. And again, I did a review on that. Please go watch it. So yeah, I thought it was good. It was good. How they handled the ending, even if Jumba isn't part of the family in the ending for this version. But yes, as for the mid-credit scene, it is so sweet. It is so beautiful. So, so beautiful. And sorry, I was just remembering when Stitch first came onto Earth and this chaos that he does. I'll talk about that in just 1 minute. But yeah, I love that, the mid-credit scene, like Nani goes there to visit Lilo, and then she sleeps on the bed with her, and then Stitch too. And I thought it was just so beautiful that all three of them are there in the bed, and then what's her name again? Sorry, it's so late right now. I'm so tired. It's been a very long day. Nani. So she's hugging Lilo from the back. They're all under the covers, and Nani says, "Good night, sister. Good night, little sister." And Lilo says, "Good night, sister." And I like that because, like, where I'm from, we tend to just call our siblings brother, sister. Like, "Hey, brother, how are you? Hey, sister, how are you?" Here in the US, I don't really hear people do that a lot. In many other countries, people do. Like from all the countries I've been to, I've always heard things like that. So it was nice for me to hear that in a American setting, like "Good night, sister. You too, sister." So it was nice to see. But what I'm getting at is Stitch. Stitch himself has one of the cutest, most adorable, heartwarming, and beautiful moments in all of the Lilo and Stitch series, where in that moment, so Nani's hugging Lilo, Lilo is hugging Stitch. And then when Lilo says "Good night, sister," Stitch says, "Yeah, good night, sisters." Like, so when he said that, I was just so happy, so emotionally happy, because it's like, oh, Like, yeah, we didn't ever see Stitch call, like, Stitch only calls them his family. Um, but we never really hear Stitch in even on the animated movies calling them his sisters. So to hear Stitch say that in this movie, it was so sweet. So again, this movie did some things that are so much better than the original. It's one of those rare moments where it's like, this is as good as the original, or maybe just a little bit better in some aspects. And that's true. So, I thought that this movie was so good. Do I actually think it was better than the original? Not really, but it's super close to being tied to as good as the original. For example, the thing that I just had remembered, um, when Stitch came to Earth in this movie, he literally crashes a wedding, and it is the most funny, chaotic thing ever. Like, he's just trying to go for the cake, trying to scare people, and everybody's like running and screaming, and Stitch is just having so much fun. Like, I love that scene, and there's so many scenes like that in this movie. So that's what I mean. Like, they put actual things that you would expect Stitch to do, like things that you see in the original trailers, in the original posters of Stitch in the original series, and you don't get to see that when you watch the movie. You do get to see a bit of it, but you kind of wish he does a lot more crazy things. Yeah, no, in this movie he does all of those crazy things, and he is just amazing. So yeah, guys, there's a lot that this movie does right, a lot that this movie does better than the original, and a lot that this movie does, or a couple of things that this movie does a little bit worse than the original. I would say that the original is better by like 0.5%. Like, if I give the original like a 9 out of 10 as an example, I'd give this one like a 8.5, maybe even an 8 out of 10. I don't like to give scores in my reviews. When I'm writing my thoughts on the movie, I do give a score for them, but when I'm doing my video reviews, I don't like to give scores. I just like to tell my experience and my thoughts on it. And so that way it can help all you guys see more or less how the movies are, and like the good things and the bad things from it. So for this, the reason why I'm saying that is just so that you can understand that it's very close to being as good as the original. But really, it's just like the pacing, the speed, some of the background characters, and Jumba. That those are the biggest issues with the live action movie. But other than that, this movie is fantastic. I was so hyped for it, and it was worth the hype for sure, because it was just so fun. But yeah, guys, sorry for this long review. Let me know what you all think of this new movie. Please tell me your thoughts in the description below. What's your favorite scene? I'm really excited to hear what people say and what you all think. So with all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.